The current generation i30 sedan has been sold in Australia since early 2021. It's essentially identical to the Elantra sold in other markets but has been renamed, likely because Aussies are more familiar with the i30 name than they are with Elantra. When we drove it in 2021, we were thoroughly impressed, and after recently spending a week in the 2024 model, would recommend it to anyone looking for a budget sedan. An i30 for everyone. The updated i30 sedan range starts at $29,000–19,300 for the base model with the 2.0-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, or $33,000–22,000 for the new 1.6-liter turbocharged hybrid. The range then grows with the i30 Sedan Elite priced from $33,500–22,300 for the 2.0-liter, and $38,500–25,600 for the i30 Sedan Premium. Sitting between these two models is the version we lived with, the $36,000–24,000 i30 Sedan N-Line. Those willing to stretch their budget a little further will need to cough up $41,500–27,600 for the i30 Sedan N-Line Premium. That's the flagship model of the standard range and only sits below the potent $52,000–34,600 i30 Sedan N Premium, one of the finest hot sedans at its price point. Alterations made to the 2024 model aren't significant and are focused mainly on the exterior. The front end adopts a set of slimmer and more attractive headlights, while there's now an LED light bar stretching between them. The shape of the front bumper has also been modified and looks slightly more aggressive than the model it replaces. Hyundai's new flat badge can also be found up front. A pleasant and premium cabin. Little has been done to the inside of the 2024 sedan, but that's no bad thing. When I first drove the i30 sedan a few years ago, I was impressed with the build quality and the fit and finish of the cabin, considering the car's starting price. The same can be said of the current model. The seats of the pre-facelift model have been carried through to the new one, offering good bolstering and are soft to the touch. However, the angle of the seat bases means they offer very little under-thigh support for tall drivers. Not even a square inch of my thighs were touching them when I was driving. I could only rest my thighs on the seats if I stretched out my legs behind the pedals, which isn't safe. Positioned ahead of the driver is a N-branded steering wheel wrapped in black leather with red contrast stitching and plenty of physical buttons and switches for the cruise control and media settings. There's also a large digital instrument cluster. As our test car was the entry-level N-Line and not the N-Line Premium, it made do with an 8.0-inch infotainment display as opposed to the 10.25-inch display of the higher-end version. This display offers Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support but runs an old version of the Korean brand's software, voiding many features and settings of other Hyundai models. It's one of the most basic infotainment systems we've used in recent years and was a disappointment. The driving position is excellent except for the thigh issue, and there's enough headroom for taller occupants up front. The rear is slightly more cramped than the Mazda 3 sedan we tested recently, but it's more than large enough for kids and teens as long as they don't have big feet. The 2024 model also includes a pair of USB-C ports at the rear. The quality of the materials used in the i30 sedan's cabin doesn't feel quite as nice as those of the Mazda 3 sedan, but this car's Japanese rival starts at almost $1,300 more and tops out at $47,147, $31,300, not far off the performance-focused i30 N sedan. Where the i30 sedan has the Mazda 3 beat is in luggage space, as the boot can swallow up 474 liters 16.7 cubic feet, 30 liters 1 cubic foot more than the Mazda. The Hyundai also has a slightly larger aperture and lower loading point, making it easier to load things in and out. A comfortable ride but an unrefined powertrain. Power comes courtesy of a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This engine is good for 150 kilowatts 201 HP at 6000 RPM and 265 nanometers 195 lb-ft of torque between 1500 RPM and 4500 RPM, figures identical to the pre-facelift model. Coupled with this engine is a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission driving the front wheels. I was pleasantly surprised with how much punch the N-Line provides. It has slightly more grunt than the 139 kilowatts 186 HP and 252 nanometers 186 lb-ft of the Mazda 3 G25, and you can feel this extra poke, although the differences are only slight. Unfortunately, the engine doesn't sound as nice as the one in the Mazda. It makes quite an unpleasant racket at high revs. The car also experiences a lot of torque steer, which is strange given it doesn't have that much power for a front-wheel drive car. If you pin the throttle with the steering wheel turned even slightly, the latter will tug, and the inside tire will start to lose traction. Fortunately, the i30 Sedan N-Line is impressively frugal. Hyundai claims it sips 6.6 L 100 km 35.6 US mpg over the combined cycle, and on long highway jaunts, that's exactly what we averaged with 98 octane fuel. On the same roads, but filled with 95 octane fuel, consumption increased to 6.9 L 100 km 34 US mpg. We also experimented with 91 octane fuel over the same highway roads and averaged 7.2 L 100 km 32.6 US mpg.